I hope everyone is well and welcome back to our lesson where we'll be going over week 5 of the live lectures on YouTube. So, as usual, I will be kind of like presenting in a way. I'll be presenting or I'll be going through the summary I've made about the topics they were discussing about at the FNB App Academy on the 5th week. And then if you have questions, you can ask questions, and then Theo is going to help with the questions, with answering the questions. So we will be talking about user-centric app development. As you can see, guys, here on this diagram, we need to understand the user's needs. We have the key principles and the interactive design process. So by understanding users' needs on the bullet points that we have here, we need to conduct user research through surveys, interviews, and analytics. Kind of like in these weeks, they've been more teaching us about business in a way. It's more like they're teaching us about business, how to market your app. So we also develop user personas and refinate different target audience. And then the key principles, we focus on the needs and the preferences of the end users throughout the development process. We create an intuitive, engaging and effective user experience. Those are our key principles, and then we have I'll send this picture in the group actually. So yeah, so you guys can look at it at your own time. So going on to the summary, going on to the user-centric app development. What is a user-centric app development? User-centric app development is an approach that puts the needs, goals, and behaviors of users at the center of every stage. A lot of people are requested to join. Okay, it's saying here the user-centric app development is an approach that puts needs, goals, and behaviors of users at the center of every stage of the software development process. And it focuses on delivering, a lot of people are joining. It focuses on delivering value, usability, accessibility, and seamless interaction for users rather than just meeting technical requirements. So here, basically, what they are telling us, it is important in a manner of like getting the user's POV rather than the technical requirements. Yeah, there are technical requirements. You can develop an app and then it works perfectly, but like, will it be comfortable enough for the users? Will it be easy to use? Will they be able to play around with it without having any issues? So that's what I'm getting here. But like, if anyone has something to add, they can add, or if anyone wants to correct me in a way, they can correct me in a way. So, and we move to key principles of the user-centric development, of which they are listed as follows. We have empathy, we have interactive design, we have accessibility, we have simplicity, and also we have feedback driven. So, what do we mean about when we say empathy? Empathy is we understand users' pain points, expectations, and behaviors through research. So we want to understand them. We want to put ourselves in their shoes through research. We will just you are going to conduct a research. Maybe you might go around, give them a prototype, and then ask them to use it, or maybe through surveys and everything, and also get their feedbacks. And also, maybe when there's a specific prototype where you are giving, where you are, how can I put this thing? Where you are letting them operate it, you are going to watch out their behaviors. It's not like they're gonna tell you, okay, I'm behaving this certain way while I'm using this. It's up to you to monitor them while they are doing everything, or while they are busy playing around with your prototype, while they are testing your prototype. And then we have interactive design. Uh, by interactive design, we continuously improve the app based on feedbacks and user testing. And then we have accessibility. We ensure usability for all users, including those with disabilities. So here you want to make sure that like a your project or your app doesn't it's not one-sided. So that is what I'm getting from here. You want to make sure you have a broader range of of users. And simplicity, we design with clarity and reduce unnecessary complexity. So which means here we'll be removing anything that's going to confuse the user. And then feedback driven, we regularly collect and incorporate users' feedback. So, and we move to benefits of user-centric app development. We have satisfaction. It increases users satisfaction. We have higher engagements. It reduces a development waste and competitive advantage. So by increasing user satisfaction, the application are more intuitive and enjoyable to use. It's more like they are satisfied with your app, like they enjoy it. So, and also higher engagements, users are more likely to return and recommend the app. So meaning they are going to give your app a review. They're gonna give you, they're going to rate it basically. They're going to rate it and then they're going to leave a review. Some might be positive, but like here it's a benefit. Obviously, it's going to be positive and then less negative comments. And then we have reduced development waste, building features that users actually want and need. So here you're building something that's actually going to benefit the user. And we have competitive advantage, delivering a better overall user experience than competitors. So meaning if you are competing with people, if you decide to build an app, I'll make an example about Ubers. Okay, if you creating an app that's similar to Uber, it must have features that can beat Uber or Bolt or in drive in terms of competition. So meaning like you must build an app where a lot of users might actually use yours, or maybe they might recommend that other than other apps. So it's competitive advantageous. Those are the benefits of the user-centric app development. And okay, we have examples here, demonstrations, real examples of user-centric features, onboarding tutorials, guide new users through the app features. And then we have our example. We also have dark mode, gives users control over UI preferences. And then we have our examples listed. And also we have voice navigations. It increases accessibility for users while visually in impairments, of which it's Google Maps and also Siri or Google, a bunch of the phone's assistants. And we also have personalization. You can customize content and layouts based on the user's behavior. So here from what I'm getting, maybe when you build something, they must be able to add on their personality. Yeah, they must be able to add their personality. For an example, if you can go to my WhatsApp or any social media, I'm using dark mode because I don't like maybe when I'm using my phone at night, the brightness of the phone is going to eat my eyes. So I don't want that, since I'm also a person that uses glasses in a way. So these are the benefits of it. Having UI preferences, voice navigations, personalizations, onboarding tutorials, and also WhatsApp. When there's a new feature on WhatsApp, you find out that it sends you a message, or maybe you'll just see a pop-up status from WhatsApp, and then when you actually watch those statuses, you'll actually see WhatsApp has added a new feature, and also it's kind of like a short tutorial showing you what does it do, what is the benefit of the new feature. So yeah, guys, is anyone with any question before I ask you to just give us a summary and also explain everything in his knowledge? So like, yeah, Theo is well spoken, so he's going to explain everything clearly. He's going to explain it thoroughly. So any questions, you can ask them, and then he's going to answer them before, or maybe Theo, you can just summarize everything we've spoken about, or maybe you can just tell us your understanding on the user-centric app development, and also you can mention things I've actually left behind, things I didn't mention about the user-centric app development. So yeah, the ball is in your court now.
Okay, so with user-centric app development, the most important thing is what the user thinks of the app and how simple it is for the user to navigate between the pages and get stuff done in your app. As an example of this, as a bad example, if you remember when we first started using GitHub, how confusing that interface was, and there were so many questions in the groups asking what buttons do we click to upload our work and stuff. So this is an example of bad user-centric design, although on GitHub it's done on purpose because it's meant to appeal more to developers than new users. A good example of this would be like WhatsApp. So on WhatsApp, you just open it, you click on a contact that you want to send a message to, and you send your message. It's simple. And it's not too difficult to use. Any new user that opens it will be able to understand what's going on. A good idea when it comes to creating user-centric designs is to use designs that already exist. So for example, if you are making your own chat application, you would copy a similar design to WhatsApp. So you'd have it to where when it opens up, it just shows you all your contacts, and you click on the one you want to chat to and you chat to them. Yeah, so this increases user satisfaction a lot, because if a user is confused, they're just going to leave the app. They're not even going to bother trying to learn how to use it. And you're also like excluding yourself from the market, because it would be so easy for a competitor to overtake your product by creating something that's more simple for a user to interact with.
Thank you so much, Steve. Anyone with any question about the user centric? Anyone with any question about the user centric app development, guys? So, okay. So, meaning we can continue. You can just type on the chat if you feel like you are shy to speak. Let me open the chat. Okay, no one is typing. So yeah, guys, let's continue.
Okay, just before we continue there, one more
Yeah.
thing about competing with other apps. When you're creating an app that's similar to something that already exists, you don't necessarily need to add new complex features to make your app that much better. If you look at, for example, the other day I was using Mr. D, which is how we order food and stuff here. And what I wanted to do is to order food from two different restaurants. I wanted certain items from one restaurant and certain items from another. And I noticed that inside of the app, they don't have an option to allow you to order from two different places. You actually need to submit two different orders and then pay the processing and delivery fee twice. And so this is something that Uber Eats actually does in their app. So you can order from two different delivery places and they will go pick up both of them. So you can see, just by adding that small feature into the app, they've created a slightly better app than Mr. D for people who are trying to get stuff from more than one place.
So isn't that like a feature that I've added, even though it's not complex?
Yeah, so sometimes it's just the small little touches that you add that can make your app better than a competitor's app. And for the most part, yeah, you can just copy them one to one and have the exact same app.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and here's the summary. So, user-centric app development is just a methodology. It's a mindset. By prioritizing users at every step from research to release, developers can build apps that truly resonate with people. So I'm sure it makes sense. And also remember, an app that serves the users well succeeds well, because at the end of the day, you're not creating that app for you, but you are creating to solve a user's problem. You're creating to actually make a user's life more easy. So yeah. And then on the second, wait, I need to. Okay, yeah. On the second video, they were speaking about data management and analysis. Okay, let's go through this. What is a data management? Data management is the process of gathering, storing, organizing, and maintaining data securely and efficiently. It includes data entry, data storage, backup, access control, and compliance with data regulation. For an example, a university storing students' academic records in a secure database system for easy access and reporting. Right. That's not yours. I believe that's not you. So, oh yeah, this is an example. It's a university storing students' academic records in a secure database system for easy access and reporting. What is um what is data analysis? Okay, we spoke previously, that was data management. What is data analysis? Data analysis is the process of examining database to draw conclusions and make informed decision. It involves cleaning, processing, visualizing, and interpreting data, threads, and patterns. An example of this, a social media company analyzing users' activity to recommend content and ads. So, and why it matters, okay? Why does this all matter? Better decisions, improved efficiency, compliancy and security, competitive and advantage, competitive advantage. Better decisions, data helps organizations make evidence-based on decisions and improve efficiency. Clean and well-managed data reduces error and saves time. Compliance and security ensures legal and secure of sensitive data. Competitive advantage, analyzing threats helps business stay ahead in the market. Real world applications, healthcare, patients data analysis for diagnosed and treatment prediction, education, tracking students' performance to improve their learning strategy, e-commerce, analyzing purchase behavior to recommend products, finance, detecting fraud by analyzing transactions patterns, agriculture, using sensor data to manage soil and crop health. So common tools and techniques, data storage, SQL, and NoSQL, cloud storage. For example, we have AWS and Azure. So that's Microsoft Azure. And data cleaning, we have handling missing values, removing duplicates, visualizing. We have charts, graphs, dashboards, and then on analyzing, we have descriptive statistics, predictive modeling, and machine learning. Languages, Python, we have React, that R stands for React, right? We have Excel for custom scripts and analysis. Challenges and consideration. Um, Data silos. Departments may keep data in isolated systems, which here for safety. Data quality, incomplete or incorrect data can lead to bad decisions. Security risk, data breaches can expose sensitive information. Volume and complexity, big data requirements, special tools and skills. Legal compliance must follow the laws like GDRP and the POPI Act. Then, yeah, pretty much yeah, this is the summary I made on the data management and analysis. I'm sorry, guys, on that I'm not really good in data management and analysis. So yeah, Theo, can you please explain everything in a broader in a broader matter, in a broader view, so everyone can actually understand when we say data management and also data analysis, what are we talking about when we mention those things before we go on to answering questions and everything. Yeah.
Okay, so I also don't have too much experience in this field, so I'll just explain what I do understand. And while I'm explaining, you guys can just put some questions into the chat. So data management, we're speaking about when we get data from a user, we want to store that data into a database. Now, there's a few different technologies we can use, which were mentioned here, which are SQL, NoSQL. There's also other stuff like PostgreSQL. And yeah, there's a few different technologies for that. So what this database basically is if you've ever worked with a spreadsheet before, it has columns and rows in it. So a database is similar to that. Each column is for one value type, for example, first name, last name, age, or whatever columns you have. And then each row represents one entry into your table. So for example, if I signed up to your application, I would be put on one row of that table. And then if Saif signs up to your application, he would be on a different row of your table. And yeah, from there you can actually link two tables together because each entry into your table would have a unique identifier so that when you're going through your data, you know exactly who you're talking about each time. And with this unique identifier, you can actually create a second table to, for example, track what the users buy and stuff like that. And in each of those purchases, you can put the unique identifier from each customer there to say that this was the customer that made this specific purchase here. And yeah, after that, you can do stuff like, for example, you can write a script in Python to look through all of the sales you've made and see who's buying what type of stuff most often, and then sending them emails, for example, of similar stuff that they might be interested in. And with this, we can increase sales and stuff. So yeah, that's basically what data management is. A few other technologies they spoke about was machine learning. This often gets confused with artificial intelligence. No, so what machine learning is you feed it a huge amount of data, similar data, and it looks for patterns in that data. Because remember, if you had your purchases table, so your table of all the purchases that were made, and there were three entries inside of it, it's very easy for you to go through that and see who likes purchasing what. But if that table had, for example, 20 million purchases inside of it, now it's going to be difficult for you to even write a Python script to go through that and analyze who's buying what and so on. So what machine learning does is it basically goes through this huge amount of data and it uses, well, I can't really explain the functions right here. It's a bit above what we've learned so far, but it uses some complex functions to find patterns in huge amounts of data. And it doesn't just work with numbers, so it can work with words and other stuff as well. Yeah. And also the languages that we were speaking about before, Python, R. R is not React, by the way. R is its own programming language, which is specialized in using mathematical functions. And yeah, you want programming languages that are very easy to work with, scripting languages, and not complex languages like C sharp or something where you need to create an entire program. So in Python, if you remember from the last lesson we did, it doesn't take that much code to do something complex. And that's the type of programming language you want to use when you're going through large amounts of data. Because if the program is too complex, then if you're not getting the correct output from the data, it's going to be very hard to go through that program and fix it up to get the correct outputs. So yeah, I hope all of you understood that, and let's see if we got any questions in the comments here.
Okay, thank you so much, Theo. Oh yeah, let's check the chat. Let me also check the chat on this side. Stop recording. Anyone with any questions, guys? So yeah, let me explain. You see, when I was talking about, let's go back. Okay, let's go back here. You see on the data storage, the SQL, it's a language. It stands for structure query language. So it is a standard language for database creation and manipulation. So that's what I mean when I say SQL here. And also to explain it, I would say, let's think of it as a as an organized toy box, for example. I'm sorry for making this an example, but like yeah, let's think of it as an organized toy box, like a super organized toy box. Okay, the the SQL. Okay, so explain Jana. I'm bad in explaining, guys. You're going to have to forgive me. Okay, fixed labels. Each compartment has a specific label. Like I'm talking about the super the organized toy box. Each label is a fixed label. I'm just making an example for you to just have SQL because not a lot of us are familiar with IT. Not a lot of us. I'm currently doing network systems, so I have an idea of that. So the first point I'm gonna say this SQL has a fixed label, right? Each compartment has a specific label, like okay, this is for cars, this is for dolls, this is for building books, etc., etc. You have to put cars in the cars compartment and the dolls in the dolls compartment. Um, let's hope I'm making sense on that. Okay, let me accept here. And then also it has rules for storing. If you let a new toy, you first decide which compartment it belongs to. And also it helps you to find things easily when you want to play with a certain toy. Okay, who's sharing the screen? Okay, thinks Theo wants to explain something.
Okay, I've just put up some visuals here while you're explaining so people have something to look at.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So as I was saying, this SQL helps, it has like fixed labels, helps you in that. There's the rows for storing, and it helps you to find things easily. And also it is good. In terms of let me go back to this example. When you have a lot of different types of toys, you always want to know exactly where everything is. It's more like it's an organizer for you. So yeah, and then the not SQL or no SQL, you know what it means. It's the no structured query language. It's also the same thing, same definition. And then Iona, in its example, it's more like I would make an example of a flexible toy chest. Now imagine no SQL is like a big open toy chest. And also it has no fixed labels. Also, it has a flexible storing, still foundable, and also it's also good. So when I say it has no fixed labels, you can just toss all of your toys anywhere. You can just toss everything anywhere. And also when we say it's a flexible storing, if you get a new robot toy, you just put it in the chest with everything else. You don't need to worry about where it belongs. And also everything is still foundable. It's not like you're going to have difficulties finding something. And also it is good when you have like a lot of different items and you get a new one. And also at an unexpected time, you can just store it and then put it there. Everything you'll find it. I'm bad at explaining, guys. I'm really sorry. But like, yeah, if you need more definitions on that, you can just go check it on Google and search it up, SQL and non-SQL. Well, I just wanted to explain that because also me, my first time, it was really confusing when I learned about the SQLs.
Okay, so I've just got some visuals here
And
of
then
what an
it,
actual database looks like. Uh, Down here, I'm not sure if you can see this because it's a bit small, but down here is what the actual database looks like. So you can see it has an ID column, a first name column, and then a phone number column. And this is unique to this table I've created. So I've chosen to have these three specific fields here. And then it has two entries in here. The first one, it has a first name of Bob and then a phone number. And yeah, it has another entry also. And then we also have a transactions table here, which is exactly what I explained in the example I gave you earlier, where in this transaction table, we have an ID for each column here, but we also have a ID for customer ID here. So this customer ID column here is which customer made this purchase in the transactions table. So here we can see a ball was purchased and the customer ID is 4. And if we head back to the customers table here, we can see that the customer with the ID of 4 is John here. So yeah, it's a way of storing large amounts of data and linking them together to figure out who did what, when, and so on.
thank you, Theo, for showing us the visuals and actually explaining it. I have a feeling everyone is just lost. Anyone with any question, guys? Where are you lost?
Okay.
Hi
Okay,
everyone. Is
Void.
it possible
Okay,
for you guys to just go over SQL again?
can you please repeat that?
Is it possible for you guys to just go over SQL for me again?
I can't hear properly. Can you hear properly on your side, Theo?
No, I didn't get that question, but you can just type it into the chat and we'll be able to read that.
In the meantime, she's typing on the chat. Void. I see your mic is on. Do you have anything to say?
No, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Yeah, Void, can you please explain the SQL, bruh?
No, I'm not the one, bro.
You are, dog. What do you mean?
I'm not, bro.
Okay, explain what you can. What did you learn from like these two topics? What did you learn on the
Okay, I'm
depth?
gonna need. Okay, guys, let's wait until the lesson is done and then I'll answer that.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, Natasha, are you typing on the chat? What were you saying? Or we can just proceed with the questions. Okay, in the meantime, okay, no problem. Are you sure? Okay, yeah, let's continue, guys, with the questions. You have to answer the questions, guys. Let's work together. Let's discuss. Um, yeah, my mouse sensitivity is bad. So here on the user, these are the questions for the user-centric app development, right? Our first questions is what are some of everyday apps that you think are user-centric and why? What are some everyday apps that you think are user-centric and why? This will actually show that you guys were paying attention. Anyone who wants to answer, guys? Oh, do you want us to answer for you guys?
Okay, we have an answer in the chat, which is WhatsApp, because of how simple the layout is. And yeah, I agree with that. It's simple to use. You just hop into WhatsApp, you pick the person you want to send a message to, and you send your message. It's simple. Even someone who doesn't know how to use it or hasn't used it before can just open it up and they'll immediately know what everything is.
Okay. Yeah, I do agree. Everyone agrees on that. Hopefully, yes. The second question, how does user feedback influence feature development in your team? How does user feedback influences feature development in your team? Are people answering on the chat?
Yeah, we're getting most of the answers through the chat now.
Okay, no problem. Yes, guys, let's engage. At least we are learning something. At least we are learning something. By the time like they drop the assessment, we will know we are covered both on the practical side and also the live lectures one, and also on the theory side. Because mostly on the live lectures they teach us theory, and then practical I believe everyone can just learn while they are doing the work. So this is why we're doing this lessons like this, so we can be able to answer both practical questions and the theory questions as well. So is everyone done answering? Let me check. It increases users satisfaction. Ramsel is always active when answering the questions. I like it. So the question was like, how does user feedback influences feature development in your team? Do you agree, guys, with the answer on the chat?
I don't really agree with that answer. It is a good reason for why user-centric development is important, but the specific question was how does it influence your development inside your development team? So I think
Yeah.
can I answer the question?
Yes, you can answer the question.
Okay, so the way it would increase feature development is if a user, for example, gives you feedback that sending a message inside your app is a bit difficult. They don't know how to find the correct contact to send a message to because your layout is bad. Then from there, you take it into your development team and you'd rework your interface to make it more simple for a user to find the correct contact and send messages and so forth. So the way it would help you in your feature development is a user would tell you a certain thing is hard to use, and then you would go and update your interface to make it simpler for users to use that feature.
Okay, right. And then to polish that one up, the user feedback acts as a direct communication channel between the development team and the actual user of the app or the system. It helps the team understand what's working, what's frustrating, and what they need, which often differs from what developers think they need. You get it? And also you explained it correctly. So the third question, what strategies can developers use to ensure inclusive in an app design? What strategies can developers use to ensure inclusive in an in-app design? It is what things tough. Okay, inclusive means, or maybe inclusive app design means creating applications that can be used effectively, guys. So is people answering on the chat? I was saying inclusive app design means creating applications that can be used effectively.
It looks like some people are typing right now, so we'll just wait for those answers to come in.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, so we have a correct answer by Kayla here. She says, ensure that the app is available for everyone and that even disabled people don't have difficulty navigating on your app.
Well said. Well answered. That's it. I don't even have anything to add there. That's correct, guys. Um, anyone with a different answer? You said many people were typing. If not, we can continue. So, the last question: have you ever stopped using an app because of a poor user experience, and what happened? This is a personal question. So yeah, there's no right or wrong answer here because you stopped using it because of your own personal reasons. You had your own personal, or you had your own opinion to stop using the app, and it's not anyone's fault actually.
So while these answers are coming in, I'll give you my own answer to this. As I was saying before, earlier this week I tried using the Mr. D app and I wanted to order food from two different restaurants and they didn't allow me to do this. But on the Uber Eats app, they actually do allow you to order from two different restaurants and they go pick up both and bring it to you at the same time. So that was a feature that Uber Eats had that made me stop using Mr. D and now I'm a customer of Uber Eats instead.
All right, thank you. Me, I would say which one? Me, I would say in drive. In drive is a bit confusing for me. As much as it has its advantage of like, okay, you decide what price you want to pay, but it was difficult in terms of like every single time I used InDrive, in terms of like selecting the specific, if I'm in a current location, it was difficult for me. Yeah, I would type that, but like it would show me, like it would just totally pick a not in the same location, but not at the spot that I'm standing at, or maybe my destination, it wouldn't want to accept my destination. So that's the reason why I stopped using InDrive. I only use Bolt and Uber now.
Okay, so we have another answer in here, which was they say at the beginning GitHub because it was difficult to get into. So for this one, I agree, but also I disagree because GitHub did that on purpose. The reason why GitHub makes the interface a bit difficult to use and understand is because remember when you're using GitHub, you're using a service for free, and any files or pictures or whatever you put into your GitHub is being stored on an actual server that GitHub is paying money to host somewhere. So GitHub uses the advanced interface to sort of filter out people who shouldn't be using GitHub to begin with. Because remember, on GitHub, you can just store images as well if you want, but it's not meant to be used like that. So they've designed the interface in a way where only technical people will be able to use it, and other people won't be just wasting space on their server by uploading random images and stuff.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and we also have Timo here because of the amount of ads. Yeah, that is a good example. Ads, it's a good way for the developer to make money, but oftentimes even just including one ad in your app will make people not want to use it.
Exactly. Not unless like users really love using your app for free, like YouTube. A lot of people like I think it's a few percentage of people who are paying for YouTube, so they decide to just watch ads.
Yeah,
Sometimes they are skippable, sometimes they are unskippable ads. So, but at the end of the day, you will want to watch something and finish it on YouTube while there is ads.
basically the only way you can include ads in your app and still have users want to use the app is if there's absolutely no alternative way to get that same content. So a good example was, as Saif said, YouTube. There's nowhere else you can watch those YouTube videos. And another example is I downloaded an app recently which allows me to download videos from Facebook. So if you usually go on Facebook videos, you can only watch the videos, you can't download them. And this app allows you to download those videos by just pasting in the link. So with this app, there's no alternative way for me to download those videos, so I have to use the app. And that's a good way for the developer to put adverts in there, and there's nothing I can do about it. I have to watch those ads. But other than that, if your app is common, there's other apps that do the same thing, then the user's always going to go for one that doesn't have ads in it.
Okay. Thank you for that explanation. I also use it too. I do have an app like that to download Facebook videos. So coming back to the data management and data analysis. Here are the questions. What is the difference between data management and data analysis? So yeah, a lot of people were confused here. So I might as well. Is there anyone answering in the chat? What is the difference?
So there's one person answering, but I think they might be just answering to the previous question.
Okay, no problem. So on my side, I would say data management is the process of collecting, storing, and organizing, also securing and maintaining data through its life cycle. And also data analysis is the process of examining and interpreting and drawing insights of the data. So, and then we have the main goal of the data management is to ensure data is available, accurate, and secure and well structured. And then data analysis to turn raw data into meaningful information for decision making. That is their main goal. That's the difference of the difference in their main goal. And also, data management focuses on infrastructure, tools, and policies around data handling. And also, data analysis focuses on patterns, threads, and insights, and also conclusions. And then tools, we did mention tools. You remember on the data management, I mentioned the SQL and the non-SQL cloud storage, Microsoft Azure, ETL tools, and then also the tools on the data analysis. We have Excel, we have Python, we have React, we have Power BI, you see, etc. And then the examples, I would say data management, a hospital storing patient records in a secure digital system. And also an example of data analysis is analyzing those records to predict future patient visits. So yeah, I would say that's the difference between data management and data analysis. The other one processes, it collects, stores, organizes, and then the other one it examines, it interprets data, so etc. etc. And then going to the second question, how can poor data quality affect business decisions? How can poor data quality affect business decisions?
Okay, so I don't think anyone's going to answer this question, so I'm just going to take it if that's fine.
Okay, no problem.
So as I said before, when we're tracking data, so for example, which customers make which types of purchases, we can then send targeted adverts to those customers about products that we know in advance they're going to like because they have purchased similar things in the past. But if you're not managing this data correctly, you won't know what types of things this customer wants, and you're going to just send him a broad advertisement with random products inside of it that he may not only not like, but he may get annoyed that you keep sending him spam emails, and he'll unsubscribe from your email listing or whatever it's called, where you send out emails to customers. And yeah, after that, you won't be able to advertise to that customer anymore. So you're actually losing customers this way.
Okay. Thank you for that example and also explaining it. On the third question, what are some what are some real life examples where data helped solve a big problem? What are some real life examples? What are some real life examples where data helped solve a big problem? What are some real life examples where data helped solve a big problem?
Okay, we're getting one answer coming in now.
Okay, no problem. So if we can just go back in time and think about the COVID-19 era, it demonstrated the immune power of data. Big data analytics and data-driven decision making in responding to a global crisis. Also, the ability to collect and analyze the vast amount of information quickly was vital, guiding the scientific and medical and also governmental responses to the pandemic. I would say, to answer that question, like that was the real life. This is a real life example. It's the COVID-19 era, where like tracking data and forecasting disease spread. Because every day when we were watching the news, we were able to just check on the, I remember it was top right or top left of the TV. They used to tell us, oh, okay, today people who were affected by the virus were this amount. So I would say in real life, this is the real life example. It helped us to quickly capture the data, even though a lot of people maybe they might not be accurate because of the people didn't. A lot of people didn't go and test for it. But like those people who went to the hospital, it was easy to get that data and consolidate it and also bring it to the public. Do you agree, Theo? I'm just yapping.
Yeah, I agree. And also, we had two answers which were also the same. They spoke about COVID here.
Oh, they spoke about for real. Let me check. Crazy. Great minds think alike. Oh, yeah, nice, guys. Nice, guys. Nice. I just had to think about that too. Exactly. That's okay. Someone is raising their hand. You can turn on your mic and answer if you're comfortable to, or ask a question if it's a question.
Okay. Guys, I was also thinking of the complex. Some complexes have some system that they use whereby when a person enters the complex, they take maybe their license registration, and then the car registration as well. So I think also that is part of maybe the question, not if
Yes,
because let's say maybe something happens inside the complex, then they will see this person went inside the complex and they've never came out, so he'll be
yes.
one of the suspects as well.
True. I totally agree because I remember this one time. I actually I was in Joburg. I'm not sure. I was in Midrand. I'm not sure. And then we went to this company. I was going with my he's more like Osbarwam. I don't know how to spell, but like he's older than me. He was showing me his work. So we to liquidation technology, something like that. There they need your ID or your license, and then they're going to scan it. After scanning it, obviously they took your information, your
Yeah.
personal details, and then they will keep it, and then they will give you a badge. And then before you enter the building, it's like that's when you are entering it. Before you enter the building, they have to give you a badge, have to look at you in the system, and then give you the badge, and then you will have access to enter inside the. So they want to make sure all the time they know who was in and who went out at what time. So like I totally agree on and totally agree with you on that one.
Okay.
So
All right.
so yeah, the fourth question, which tools okay, the fourth question, which tools or platforms have you used for managing or analyzing data? Which tools or platform have you used for managing or analyzing data?
So we have one answer coming in here. It says Excel. That's the spreadsheet software, I think.
Yeah. Excellent. The people do use it to manage data. That's a correct one. And also on my side, also Void can agree on this one. Void, you have used Microsoft Azure last year to manage data.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah. Yeah, Excel and also Microsoft Azure. Why is the last question now, guys? Why is data privacy important when handling users' information? Why is data privacy important when handling user information?
Um, I think it helps to like build trust with your users, and also it helps to ensure that you are adhering to the Legal and Ethical Study Act.
Yeah, true. Protects individual rights. You're right. Also, it prevents identity theft or fraud. It builds trust with the users. Also, the POPI Act one legal and regulation compliances as well, and it it prevents data misuse, reduces security risk. It supports fair and ethical use of technology. So yeah, guys.
And we also have an answer here in the comments, which is correct. It can stop people from getting scammed. So remember, if your data is not secure and someone has access to it, they will not only be able to communicate with your customers, but they will know that that customer uses your service, so they can pretend to be you and try and get information out of that customer.
True. So yeah, guys. I believe that is it for today. You can ask some questions, you can add on, and then Void.
I'd like to ask if we are going to get the slides for today's lesson.
Yes, you definitely are going to get the slides.
Okay.
If I forget, please you just forward the slides to the group. And also, guys, don't depend on like those slides only. Just for you, you must be curious. Do more research. But okay, we've learned about this topic and this topic. Do more research if you don't understand something. So we don't know what are they going to ask on the assessment. So we have to be ready at all costs.
Okay.
So yeah. How will they track their GitHub, our GitHub? I mean, how will they track our GitHub? I'm still curious on that. And also, I haven't logged on the website there to track my progress. I've been using where's the I've been using the emails. So will they send me my password, or should I use the same email and then they will send me a password and then I log in and track my progress?
So there's a method, I'll speak to you later on WhatsApp about it, where you head to IT Varsity and you just say forgot password, and then you put in your email and it will allow you to reset it. Also, I've sent all the slides to all the groups now, so everyone should have it. And
Thank you so much.
Was there another question?
Yeah, it was that, because also someone in the chat was having the same question. They were using emails. They haven't logged in. So yeah, it's just that.
Yeah, so
So
basically
yeah,
you just want to go. Continue.
No, you can continue. It's okay.
Okay, so you just want to go to IT Varsity and select forgot password, and then they'll give you this option box where you can put in either your username or your email. And in that, you only fill in your email, not your username as well. And then you press the search button and it will basically send you an email to reset that password. And then you just pick a new password and it will allow you to log in. Now on the IT Varsity, they track a few things. It's just basically they track if you've watched each lesson. They don't like allow you to submit your work or anything like that. So I don't think that's something they are going to track. And as for GitHub, I think it was just optional to put our work on there. They're not going to go and check that because it would be difficult for them to find every single person's GitHub. And yeah,
Yes.
I think
same thing.
Yeah, I think at the end of the
you
course,
can continue, so.
at the end of the course, what they're going to do is they're going to send us a quiz type of thing similar to what we've had so far. In fact, I think the two that we've done so far is just them practicing for how they're going to set up the final quiz. And yeah, it will just be like a multiple choice thing with all the stuff we've learned so far.
Yes, thank you. And it's going to be easy for us because when we are answering questions, we're not answering in terms of multiple choice. And then they will give us questions in a multiple choice structure. So it's going to be easy for you to pinpoint the correct answer out of those 4 or 5 options. And also, I was thinking the same thing. The GitHub thing is personally for you, just in case in future you want to create your own personal project, you can just go document it there, and then it's going to help you. Basically, the GitHub is your CV. It's them pushing us to create our own CV, but in a technical field. So when you create your actual CV, you're going to link your CV to your GitHub and link your CV to your LinkedIn. So the HRs, when they look at your CV, they can easily access your projects and look at the projects you've built and what have you been doing, all of that. So like I was thinking the same thing. I don't think they would request, because a lot of people are panicking on TikTok. They're like, hey, I haven't submitted the GitHub, but like personally, I would advise us to just complete. Don't stress about the GitHub. Stress about it after you are done. Just complete all of your thingy, your projects, and then when you are done with all of your projects, you can document everything now while you're sitting down with no pressure or nothing to do a certain project. And then you can decide to create more or do more projects in the future and document them on GitHub as well. So yeah, I think also I'll try and log into the IT varsity. I'll do what you told me. I'll use my email and then select forgot password, and then they will give me and I'll create a new password and then log in and track my progress. So thank you so much on that. So yeah, guys, now we will meet on Friday. Friday we'll be discussing we'll be discussing week 6. I'm not sure how many videos we do have on week 6, but I'll watch them, create slides, and then we'll discuss week 6. And also on Saturday, I'm not sure, I saw an additional video of week 3. Maybe on Saturday we can just discuss that one video for week 3. They sent later on. So yeah, anyone with any question? I believe everyone is okay now, guys. So yeah, that's it. We will meet on same time, Friday 6 until 7. All good, thank you. So yeah, guys, let's meet on Friday now. Tomorrow I will be busy. And also I'll try to catch up on my projects. So thank you for your time, everyone. I'll see you on Friday now.